Life is filled with challenges, from dealing with stressful situations to interacting with difficult, selfish individuals. These moments test our patience, push our boundaries, and sometimes shake our inner peace. But as the ancient Stoics wisely observed, it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but rather how we interpret them. Every time we encounter a selfish or difficult person, whether it's a colleague who undermines us, a friend who takes more than they give, or a stranger who disregards common courtesy, we are given a choice. Let their behavior control us or take charge of how we respond. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy born in the chaos of ancient Greece and Rome, teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses. This script explores how Stoic principles offer practical tactics for dealing with selfish people without losing our calm or compromising our values. By the end, you will not only understand how Stoicism can transform your relationships, but also how it can help you become unshakable in the face of life's daily challenges. What is Stoicism? Stoicism is more than just a set of abstract ideas from ancient philosophy. It is a practical guide for living well in a world that often feels chaotic. Founded by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BCE, Stoicism developed through the teachings of prominent philosophers like Seneca Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. These thinkers believed that life's quality is determined not by external events, but by how we respond to them. Stoics emphasize the importance of accepting life as it comes, without being swayed by the desire for pleasure or the fear of pain. Instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, Stoics teach us to focus on our inner world, our thoughts, judgments, and actions. This internal focus allows for a more peaceful life, even in the face of difficulty. The core message of Stoicism is simple. The path to happiness lies in understanding what we can control and what we cannot. Stoicism encourages individuals to develop virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation, which help us act with good character and sound judgment. In this way, Stoicism is not about merely enduring life's hardships, but transforming them into opportunities for personal growth. In the context of dealing with selfish individuals, these principles become even more valuable, offering tools to maintain our composure and navigate difficult social interactions with grace. The foundation of Stoicism rests on the idea that life is divided into two realms: what we can control and what we cannot. What we can control includes our thoughts, perceptions, and actions. What we cannot control are external events, including other people's behavior, the outcomes of our efforts, and the natural flow of life. Recognizing this distinction helps us focus our energy on what we can influence, our reactions and decisions, rather than wasting it on things beyond our reach. This core Stoic principle fosters a sense of inner peace. Once we stop trying to control everything around us and instead concentrate on our inner responses, we find a deep sense of liberation. Modern life often feels like a whirlwind of uncontrollable events, from work pressures to social expectations. Stoicism teaches us to let go of these external pressures, cultivating virtues like wisdom and self-control to guide our responses. By practicing these virtues, we not only cope with life's challenges, but also thrive, becoming stronger and more resilient with each encounter. Applying Stoicism to handle selfish people. One of the most powerful tools Stoicism offers when dealing with selfish individuals is the ability to respond, not react. In moments of conflict or frustration, our first instinct is often to react emotionally. However, Stoics encourage us to pause before we respond, allowing ourselves time to think and act from a place of reason rather than impulse. This pause creates space for us to choose a calm, thoughtful response, rather than allowing the selfish behavior of others to provoke us into anger or frustration. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine being cut off in traffic or interrupted during a meeting by someone who monopolizes the conversation. Your gut reaction might be anger, but Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control the actions of others, only our response. In this way, Stoicism empowers us to maintain our inner calm, even in situations where others may be rude or inconsiderate. Another crucial Stoic tactic is cultivating empathy and understanding. While selfish behavior can be frustrating, it often stems from deeper issues like insecurity, fear, or personal struggles. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that people act according to their nature and that our job is not to change them, but to act virtuously in response. By understanding the root of selfish behavior, we can approach these individuals with empathy rather than frustration. This doesn't mean excusing bad behavior, but it does mean recognizing that everyone has challenges and flaws, and sometimes the best response is compassion. A third useful practice is the Stoic concept of premeditation of adversity, or premeditatio malorum. This involves mentally preparing yourself for the possibility of encountering difficult people, reducing the emotional shock when it happens. For example, you might remind yourself, today, I may meet people who are rude, inconsiderate, or self-centered. This is part of life, and I am prepared to face it with patience and grace. By visualizing these scenarios in advance, you are less likely to be caught off guard or thrown off balance when they occur. This practice helps cultivate emotional resilience and prepares you to respond with calm and composure. Another key Stoic practice is detaching from expectations. The Stoics believe that much of our suffering comes not from the actions of others, but from our unrealistic expectations of how others should behave. Epictetus reminds us, ask not that events should happen as you will, but will that they happen as they do. In the context of selfish people, this means accepting that there will always be individuals who act in self-centered ways. By releasing the expectation that everyone will be fair or kind, we free ourselves from unnecessary frustration. Instead of focusing on what others should do, we can focus on controlling our own responses and maintaining our sense of peace. Lastly, the Stoics teach us to cherish the challenge of dealing with difficult people. Rather than seeing selfish individuals as obstacles, we can view them as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, wisdom, and self-control. Seneca wisely noted, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Every time we encounter someone who tests our patience, we have an opportunity to grow stronger, more resilient, and more virtuous. In this way, selfish people become stepping stones for our own personal development. Real-world applications of Stoic tactics. Applying Stoicism to everyday situations is where the philosophy truly shines. Whether you're at work, at home, or out in the world, selfish behavior appears in many forms. Stoicism gives us tools to handle it with grace and poise, rather than letting it disturb our inner peace. In the workplace, we all encounter colleagues who seem more focused on their own agenda than on the collective good. They might take credit for others' work, push their own ideas at the expense of others, or consistently put themselves first. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control their ambition or behavior, we can control our response. Instead of engaging in office politics or letting frustration affect our mood, we can apply Marcus Aurelius's advice. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. By shifting our focus from what's unfair to what we can control, we maintain our peace and productivity. At home, Stoicism helps us navigate selfishness in our personal relationships. A family member may constantly demand attention, or a friend may prioritize their needs over yours. These dynamics can be emotionally draining. However, Stoic empathy reminds us to ask, what might be driving this person's behavior? Often, selfishness stems from personal struggles. By understanding this, we can respond with patience and compassion, rising above frustration and choosing virtue over anger. In social situations such as gatherings or casual meetups, we've all encountered someone who dominates the conversation, interrupts others, or makes everything about themselves. It's easy to feel irritated or sidelined, but Stoicism teaches us to manage our expectations. If we accept that not everyone will behave as we want, we won't feel let down when someone doesn't. Instead, we can engage with the conversation on our terms, listening more or gracefully, steering it in another direction. By detaching from expectations, we remain centered and unaffected by others' selfishness. Even in random encounters with strangers, such as when someone cuts ahead of you in line or disregards social courtesy, Stoicism offers a path to calm. Marcus Aurelius advised expecting disruptions so that they don't surprise us. When we mentally prepare for encountering rude or selfish people, we can handle these situations without frustration. Stoicism reminds us that these minor irritations are part of life, and by accepting them, we can avoid needless anger. Long-term benefits of practicing Stoicism. Over time, the consistent practice of Stoicism brings profound long-term benefits. One of the most significant is the development of emotional resilience. As we continue to apply Stoic principles, pausing before reacting, focusing on what we can control, we become less affected by life's ups and downs. Daily irritations, whether from selfish people or unexpected challenges, lose their power to disturb us. This emotional resilience allows us to remain calm and centered, no matter what life throws our way. Stoicism also leads to inner peace. By accepting that we cannot control everything, we let go of the need to manage or change things beyond our influence. This shift in perspective creates a deep sense of calm and serenity, as we are no longer buffeted by the whims of others or the chaos of the external world. Instead, we anchor ourselves in our own values and actions, finding peace within. In relationships, Stoicism fosters empathy and patience, helping us build deeper connections. When we approach others with understanding and compassion, we diffuse conflicts before they escalate and create more harmonious interactions. Rather than being constantly frustrated by others' selfishness, we become a source of calm and stability in our relationships. Perhaps the greatest benefit of practicing Stoicism is self-mastery. As we refine our ability to control our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we gain mastery over ourselves. We are no longer ruled by our impulses or reactions, but act in alignment with our values and principles. This self-mastery leads to a life of greater fulfillment, contentment, and purpose. Finally, Stoicism encourages gratitude. By focusing on what we can control and accepting life as it is, we begin to appreciate the simple things: our health, relationships, and opportunities. We stop chasing after what we lack and start being thankful for what we have, creating a deeper sense of contentment. In conclusion, Stoicism offers a powerful toolkit for dealing with selfish people and navigating life's many challenges. Its teachings remind us that while we cannot control others' behavior, we can control how we respond. Through patience, empathy, and self-mastery, we can maintain our inner peace and emotional resilience, no matter the circumstances. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or avoiding difficulties. It's about facing them with strength, wisdom, and grace. As we continue to practice these Stoic principles in our daily lives, we become more grounded, more fulfilled, and more capable of thriving in a complex world. If you find these insights helpful, I encourage you to subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and practical tips on how to lead a more serene, empowered life.